Check, 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 check.
It's happening. I got your attention. Shabbat Shalom. 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 Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai lai. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Let's all join together now. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It only works when everybody in the room is doing it. Here we go. 1, 2, here we go. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai lai. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hinei ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Can we all sing together, please? Hinei ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Well, Shabbat Shalom. I
Shabbat
know that you're
shalom.
feeling it. You want to give a little. This is the one time you're allowed to applaud in services. It's a big deal. Now, it says here on my service outline that Rabbi Khan is going to welcome you. So I'm going to stop talking and just say I'm really happy to see so many beautiful people here tonight. Rabbi, he went to go adjust the air conditioning. I think that means I get another minute. So it's great to see so many people. There's another really special person here. I'm not going to embarrass her, but she's walking down the aisle right now. It's really beautiful to all be together. You know what? I'm going to let Rabbi Khan save his opening remarks for a moment, unless you want to.
No, I have to get a prayer book for the two, well, the not rabbi and the other rabbi. God forbid they should get their own prayer book, so I have to.
In that case, well. Once you work here, you always work here, I'm pretty sure. That's how that goes. Stacy, remember that. Kathy, you too. I would like to invite, no? You want me to? The Rosenthal family to please join us to light our Shabbat candles, share with us the light that you have brought to all of us over these many, many years. Then Rabbi Khan will officially welcome you after that.
Friends, it is so nice to be together. I want to tell you that today was a moving day. We held a memorial service here at 1 o'clock for our beloved member, Candy Arthur, with 200 or 300 people. We held Tat Shabbat at 5:30 with what felt like 600 people. And you are here now. There are probably going to, at some point, we'll hit it, going to have been 800 or so people in this room today. And I am so very grateful that we are here in health, that we are here for a Jewish educator par excellence to honor, that we are here to say we're back. I hate the phrase new normal. This is normal. There's no new. We are back to normal. And I am so grateful to God and our community and Robin Roeder and Kathy Brewer and our board of directors for getting us through the hell of the last 2 years so that today we can say we will have had 800 people in this room. That we are here to be sad and mourn with people, but also to celebrate with people within just a few hours. And that we have so many of our alumni, and I'll get back to this later on, of the religious school, of our Madrichim program, kids who have been here and their parents who have been here since their kids were in preschool and are all adults now. Stacy, where is Stacy? This is a testament to you. It is a testament to all of us. And again, to honor our Jewish educator, the person who created these babies becoming students, becoming madrichim, becoming counselors, who literally, not literally, but spiritually gave birth to this Jewish community of young people. My heart is filled with joy. We learn in the Psalms, God created the world for days like today and nights like tonight. Thank you, Thank you to the staff. Thank you to the board. We will be mindful. Wear your masks if you want to. Stay healthy, stay healthy, stay healthy. So that should this ever, God forbid, happen again, we will be delivered on the other side of it with the feeling that we have right now. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Join me. Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh. Cantor, let's do it. Let's have some Shabbat. Yay.
Let's Shabbat it up. I love on the menu it says Rabbi Mason Barkin takes the podium. Page 138, let us welcome the Shabbat bride, Shabbat HaMalkah with Lechadodi.
Brats are a totally different thing.
I know, yeah. And we will be doing verses 1, 5, and 9. If you haven't heard this melody before, you will definitely be able to pick it up by the second refrain. Try that together. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Allah, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabel Hitoreri, Let's all try that now. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Allah, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabel.
Let's stand and face the entrance to greet the Shabbat bride. Verse 9.
Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam Besimcha V'Tzola, Toch Emudei Am Sevula, Voi Kala Lecha Dodi, Likrat Allah, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabel Lecha Dodi, Likrat Allah, B'nei Shabbat, Lekabel.
Please be seated. Throughout the service tonight, you're going to hear beautiful testimonies in favor of Stacy Rosenthal. She will provide a rebuttal later on, But I wanted to let you know that sort of like when we have confirmation and other types of services like this, we will be sprinkling our speakers throughout the service. So I just wanted to introduce them now really quickly so that you know who they are, even though you all know who they are. We'll be hearing from Rand Burke. Rand will be ordained as a rabbi in 2 months' time. He is a product of Congregation Beth Israel. His mom, Jackie Cohen, was a president of our board of directors, and she'll be actually here later on, and Lance Cohen and Maddie Burke and Bubby are all very proud. But he is not a rabbi. Do not call him rabbi. And if you really want to see the last ritual that he will encounter as a pre-ordained rabbi, join us for Torah study tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. because Rabbi Keller and I will be leading Torah study, co-leading Torah study with Randy. And it will be an experience. It is his final hazing before ordination. So we will record it. There will be evidence. We'll be hearing from Amy Baer, one of our most respected alumni of Congregation Beth Israel, also the daughter of a former president of the board. Amy came down from Seattle and works for Lyft. And so please do not. I said that, I shouldn't have said that. You're going to hear all kinds of gripes about Lyft. And ask questions as to the new Showtime show, if it's real or not, even though that's the enemy. We're going to be hearing from one of our very most distinguished Camp Stein counselors and high schoolers, Kate Hirsch. You were in for a treat, because Kate is awesome. And Kate, also one of our madrichim. We will be hearing from a fella named Ronnie Keller. Ronnie is a former employee of the synagogue. Ronnie abandoned us 6 years ago. Fortunately, we got Rabbi Sarah Mason Barkin. So I say, win. I'm so thrilled Ronnie is here. He came in from Florida just for Stacy. And we surprised her today. She saw the video that we sent out about 15 minutes before you did. That was our big reveal. And of course, we'll be hearing from others. Rabbi Mason Barkin and I will say a few words. It'll be a very verbose service, but we're here to pray. So let's get back with the prayer. I just wanted everyone to know who was going to be up here. We'll invite Jackie and Robin up later on as well. But please enjoy and pray, and let's welcome Shabbat.
Thank you, Rabbi. Page
You're welcome.
144. That's you. Oh, so you're saying what I should do is follow the outline that you put here, wherein Rand Burke speaks. And then after that, we're going to turn to page 144.
As Rabbi Khan said, I'm Rabbi Rand Burke. It's so good to be with everybody this evening. There are 613 mitzvot in the Torah, 613 commandments that we are obliged to fulfill as Jewish people in our daily lives. So in honor, where's Stacy? In honor of Stacy's ordination, can you tell I'm excited? In honor of Stacy's retirement tonight, I have compiled a list of 613 things that Stacy has taught me throughout her time at CBI. So sit back and relax, and I hope you all brought a snack. Stacy taught me not to be afraid of learning new things. On my first day of Sunday school many years ago, my mom drove me to CBI, actually then it was TBI, to drop me off and pulled up into the circle. As she pulled around and was getting ready to open the door for me, I had other plans. I held the door shut and decided I was not going to Sunday school that morning. Stacy was there at the time as a kindergarten teacher, helping alleviate the anxiety and jitters of the first day of school drop-off and welcoming her new students. When she saw me determined to remain in the car, she came over and helped my mom pry the door open and get me out. This was no problem for Stacy because she was prepared for anything and everything her students could throw at her. I ended up coming out of the car and, much to my chagrin, enjoying my time at Sunday school that morning and staying there throughout my college years as a teacher. Whatever she said to get me out of the car worked, and I was able to let go of my fear of the unknown and join my classmates with whom I would grow up with at CBI. Although sometimes I don't want to get out of the car for fear of the unknown, 22 years later, Stacy still encourages me to remember that learning new things is good. Not something about which I should be afraid, but something that I should embrace as a point of meaningful growth that's inherent in our tradition. Number 2. Stacy taught me always to have a plan, a lesson plan. It took coming to and almost completing rabbinical school for me to realize that all of those times Stacy asked me for lesson plans in Mirkaz Yisrael were for the benefit of not only my learners, but my development as an educator. She would explain to me the importance of not only distinctly Jewish content, but engaging ways to involve my learners and empower them to bring what they learned home with them that afternoon. Although towards my latter years of Mirkaz, I did end up turning in my lesson plans, it wasn't until relatively recently that I finally internalized the big picture. Knowing what I wanted to teach, how to bring it to my learners, and what I wanted them to walk away with. Stacy always emphasized these components in a well-constructed lesson plan, and that they were paramount in not only being an effective educator, but something that we, as Jewish educators, owed to our students every time they came into our classrooms, even if they tried to barricade themselves in their mom's car. Number 3. Alex will like this one. Stacy showed me the beauty of Shehechianu moments outside of designated Jewish spaces. I remember back in 2011, Alex, Stacy's oldest son, was graduating from Pinnacle High School. Go Pioneers. Any Pioneers in the house? I know there's 3, 4, there we go, 5, 6, there we go. Just as we were preparing to leave for the ceremony, Stacy called all of her kids, myself included, because I'm one of Stacy's kids, to gather in a circle amidst Alex's groans of teenage disapproval, and we said Shehechianu, thanking God for bringing us to this moment in his life. This memory stuck with me because it illustrated the beauty of Judaism outside of a distinctly Jewish context. And I learned that we don't say Shehechianu only for moments in shul or in camp, but rather we as Jews say it whenever we want to be thankful to God for the beautiful moments in our life. We say Shehechianu when celebrating graduations, with friends and with family, or accomplishing challenging feats that require practice and determination. This is the part that gets me. Or when we welcome our first child into this world. So from that moment back in 2011, even if it's said quietly or amidst the cries of Mason and Anna and evidently myself, I continue reciting Shehechianu with Stacy's example in mind, because being Jewish doesn't stop when I leave shul. It's a part of who I am, and it's my responsibility to give thanks to God for giving me and my loved ones strength and bringing us to those happy moments. There's 3 more, I promise, and they're short. Number 4, Stacy taught me that Judaism is like math. It all builds on each other. Like many of you, I went through a rebellious phase when I was in my youth, but rather than swiping a bottle of bourbon from my parents' liquor cabinet, which I do in my adult years, I decided to explore more observant denominations of Judaism. Throughout my journey, I studied in yeshiva, started keeping kosher, and wished anybody and everybody a good Shabbos. Through exploring these different streams of Judaism, I was fascinated by the new things I was learning, eager to learn more, and always questioning the response and purpose for why we as Jews do what we do. Rather than dismissing my experience, Stacy embraced it and encouraged me to continue learning and exploring new ways of living as a Jew. Although the extent of my mathematical knowledge is limited to gematria, Stacy reminded me that I will always have my Judaism. She told me that all of my experiences, all of my lessons, and questions with which I engaged helped further my growth as a Jewish person, because Jewish learning builds on itself and is dependent on the determination of the learner, not the denomination of the shul. Stacy gives me hope for the future of Judaism in an America that transcends the current political divide to reclaim and empower Jewish learning. let's just say when it comes to politics, Stacy is a wildcat and I am a sun devil. We don't always agree. And at times during my rabbinical school years, I often felt like I was the only sun devil in a sea of wildcats. So I would often call Stacy to talk about the conversations that I would have with my classmates, but more importantly, the broader implications on American Judaism. Our conversations began with recognizing our differences, but they always concluded the same way, with us engaging in passionate and meaningful conversations that focus less on the minutia and more on the broader implications for Judaism and Jewish life in America. One thing that we both agreed on and continue to agree on is the importance of meaningful Jewish learning and being and doing Jewish. These conversations during rabbinical school, of which Stacy and I had plenty, reminded me of the importance of my role as a rabbi and an educator in the American Jewish community. One that transcends the political fervor and offers opportunities to learn, engage, and cultivate new meaning behind one's Jewish identity. I believe that our discussions represent a point of unity and growth in an otherwise fractured discourse amongst Jewish professionals, that we can have a positive, productive, and hopeful implications for the Jewish community moving forward. And as a young rabbi, this hope motivates me and empowers me and is carried with me because of you. Because of your love and dedication to the Jewish people that transcends the political opinions and seeks to serve a better Jewish community. Last one. Stacy demonstrates to me constantly the importance of strong leadership. Stacy's passion for Jewish education, emphasis on teachable moments, and love for inherently Jewish experiences constantly inspires me as a young rabbi to embrace and cherish, will you guys, come on, man, and cherish the relationships that I build in and outside of the classroom. When Stacy and I discuss these challenges facing the American Jewish community, her perspective is always insightful and prompts reflection, collaboration, and action to make and to do better. Stacy leads by example, and the impact of her leadership inspires me as a young rabbi and many others like me who strive for a positive, fluent, and sustainable Jewish future. So when I used to teach Sunday school, I got very good at not being where I was supposed to be. And Stacy and Ronnie and Kathy and everybody else would ask me, Randy, where are you supposed to be right now? And Alex and my teacher and my students. I'm kidding. I was always there with my students. But in Jewish tradition, we learn, Aseh lecha rav uknei lecha chaver. Make for yourself a friend, or make for yourself a teacher, and acquire for yourself a friend. And with Stacy, I've acquired a teacher, a colleague, a mentor, a dear friend whom I consider family. And it's because of Stacy and the relationship that we've built that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Anything else? Yeah, well, do you want me to do the other 600?
Yasher Koach, page 144, Chatzi Kaddish. Yidkan Tal, Vidkadash Shemei Rabbah, Be'alma V'yurach Yurchtei V'amlich Malchutei, B'chayechon V'yomechon, U'v'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Uvizman Kari Veimeru.
Amen.
Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbam Mevorach Leolam Ulam Me'al Maya Yitbarach Ve'ishtabach V'parit Maminasei Ve'yithadar V'yithalev V'yithalal Shemei Dekudesha Brichu Leila Min Kol Mirchata V'shirahata Tush bechata v'nechemata Zahamihan ve'alama v'imeru. Amen.
We take a moment now to ask for God's blessings on those who are observing a period of Shiva or Shloshim, the immediate 7 and 30-day mourning periods. If you wish to, please stand at this time so that we may ask for God's blessings upon you. Hamakom Yenachem Etchem. May you be comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We stand together, page 146 or page 28 for the Baruch.
Yai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach
together at the top of page 149 or 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai.
Turn to the next page, page 154 or 36 for Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meotecha ve'hayu hadevharim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha Ayom al levavecha, veshinantam levanecha, v'nibartam bam, beshivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvchumecha, ukshaltam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beineinecha, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Hello. Okay. Sorry. Shabbat Shalom. Stacy, first of all, congratulations. You've been a major part of my life, and I am so proud of you, and I love you so much. You have been a key part of my life ever since I started here in preschool, which is the latest time I can remember. And you have been by my side ever since then. You have sorry. You have been a friend and a major role model in my life. You teach me, you inspire me, and you support me, and for that I am eternally grateful. As my guide and role model, you have taught me how to see the good in people, to be a reliable friend, and to stand up for my beliefs, to love people and to care about people, to care about my relationships, to care about the things I love. Out of all the memories I have with you, a specific one stands out. A couple summers ago, when COVID hit, a lot of people had a hard time. And I know it was tough for you, it's tough for me too, especially not getting to see the people that we are used to seeing in our day-to-day lives. I got to see you wearing face masks and being outside, and you took me on a walk through a little neighborhood. I remember when we walked through that neighborhood, you pointed out how you noticed the leaves swaying in the wind, how you heard the sound of dogs barking, you could hear the birds chirping, you could hear the murmur of people in the neighborhood nearby, and you could even smell a specific type of tree that you pointed out to me. I remember that you told me how much these things meant to you, how much you cared about them, and how much the peace and quiet and just the little things that meant so much to you. This was your happy place, and I was very lucky that you were sharing it with me. Stacy, you find the joy in other people, in animals and nature. You have an amazing quality where you can always find the good in people, things, nature, like I said earlier. Sorry. So that is one of the things you have taught me as my role model. You have showed me how to see the good in people, which that's something that not a lot of people can do, which is pretty amazing. Also, you have taught me how to be steadfast in what I believe in, and you never give up. And that is also one of my favorite qualities about you. I remember on our Disney trip a couple years ago, it was a fun trip. We had lots of fun. We had 2 different Disney trips, which wasn't supposed to happen, but we made a way for it to happen. There have been times where during COVID especially, it was hard to stay in contact with people, and you made it so that we could all get together, stay in contact. And now, because of you, I strive to do that, and you have taught me how to be persistent in keeping up with the people I love. Thank you for influencing me. Thank you for sharing your personal light with all of us. Thank you for being a friend. I love you so much, Stacy, and I could not ask for a better mentor. Shabbat Shalom.
When we hear especially from a poised young woman who has learned so much from another woman who has been a strong role model, we realize how important it is to have these connections, these people we relate to. So as we turn to Mikhamoja tonight, I want to share with you a special version of Mikhamoja, which is written by one of my role models, my friend Alana. And I share it with you tonight because this is the version of Mikhamoja that we'll be singing together when we gather as women for the Women's Seder in just a couple weeks. And this song reminds us of the strength that we get from one another when we raise up unheard voices, when we look to people and find lessons in places that perhaps we didn't know we would find them. So I believe you'll pick it up very quickly, and those of you who've been to the Women's Seder in the past will already know it. But I invite you all to sing along once we get to the refrain. Page 168 or 43, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai haporesh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Let's continue on page 162 or 44 with Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat letovot ha-berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat letovot ha-berit olam. Beini uvein pnei Israel otil leolam, otil leolam. Veshamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat letovot ha-berit olam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Veshamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat letovot ha-berit vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Veshamru bnei Israel et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לתוך המרית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל השבת, לעשות את השבת לתוך המרית עולם.
Let's turn to page 164 or page 46 and stand together for the Amidah as we ask God to open up our lips and we seek inside for the prayer that each one of us needs to hear tonight.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Adonai sefatai tivtach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu v'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניכם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים מחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר הסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Let's be seated, and we invite Amy Bear to come and share some of her thoughts, and memories. You get a cheering squad. That's amazing. Shabbat shalom.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amy Bear. It's been a long while since I've been enrolled at religious school here, but Stacy's impact on my life has been everlasting. I'm so happy to be here to celebrate her and all the amazing work she's done. About 17 years ago, I was graciously forced into religious school by my lovely parents. And as you can imagine, I wasn't always the happiest of campers to be coming to temple early on Sunday mornings. I remember getting sent to Stacy's office on multiple occasions for causing all the necessary trouble one causes in elementary and middle school. It wasn't until high school, until that special relationship with Stacy started to form. One summer in high school, I didn't have much going on, and in fact, I had so little going on that I decided that it would be fun to do some clerical work in the office with Stacy. Who would have guessed that I would be so right? Stacy, myself, and of course, Kathy Brewer had so many fun times as I cleaned their disastrous office closet, got in fights with their coffee machine, and counted thousands of donated coins for Staka. The three of us would chat about anything and everything while I made serious dents in Stacy's office candy supply. Both of them really made me feel like a colleague more than a student. We grew so close over that summer. Of course, I couldn't let it end there. So I convinced Stacy to create an office matricule position whose job it was to mostly just hang out with her. Over time, I realized that my relationship with Stacy was one of the strongest connections I had to my Jewish community. I no longer dreaded those Sunday mornings or coming to services because of her. I actually looked forward to getting to chat and catch up every week. I really thought that my bat mitzvah was going to be the peak of my Judaism, but I actually never felt more connected to my community than I did in those years doing clerical work in the religious school director's office. I continued in the office madrika role during the school years and during the summer until it was time for me to go to college. By this point, Stacy felt like a second mom to me. She was there for me during my first heartbreak in high school, and she continued to be there for me when I was struggling to adjust to college life in my first semester. In those first few months of college, I was spending many late nights in the library, walking home alone in the snow well after midnight. Those long walks could get pretty lonely, so I liked to call friends and families back home who were conveniently on West Coast hours. However, my own mother falls asleep promptly at 8:30 p.m. every night, so calling her was not an option. But lucky for me, Stacy, my unofficial second mother, was a night owl and always up for a chat. Stacy walked me to and from the library so many nights. I don't remember exactly what we talked about, but I do remember that it made me feel like I was getting closer to my Jewish community back at home, even though I was hundreds of miles away. I couldn't talk about my Jewish experience without mentioning Stacy, those long walks home from the library, and chatting up a storm in her office. Our relationship taught me how important it is to have a Jewish community in my life. It influenced me to seek out Judaism on campus and in my new home in Seattle. It also taught me that seeking out Judaism doesn't necessarily have to be about prayers and services. It can be about the relationships you make and the community that it surrounds it. My relationship with Stacy will always have a special place in my heart. It always warms my heart to think of all those memories we had and the positive impact they have on my life. Stacy, thank you so much for making me feel like a special member of our community and for getting me through all those long, cold, stressful nights. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for you. And I'm so proud that all of you accomplished and to have you as a forever second mother.
That was awesome. Look, it's poor Stacy. She's like about to barf because she's been crying so much. Were you going to say something for something?
We take this time now for our own private prayers and silent reflections. We'll join back together on page 180. Let's turn to page 371 or 253 as we think of all those who are in need of healing, whether it be healing of the body, healing of the spirit, healing of the soul.
Of strength, bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
If there's someone you're thinking of tonight who is in need of healing and you would like to share their name out loud with our community, or if you are watching with us online and you would like to share the name in the chat on YouTube or on Facebook, we invite you to do so at this time. Wish a refuah shlema to Eliza Talia, Sarah Bastina Rachel, Christine Baker, Cassie Black, Stephen Black, Brenda Buckman, Gerald Buckman, Rita Buckman, Chana Devora Bas Sarah Davina, Chaim Ben Masha, Christine Kobo, Colette Critchfield, Dov V'Yakov V'Malka, Andrea Gass, Miriam Bat Yaakov V'Chaya, Megan Jerome, Gretchen Husinker, Stan Quaitzen, Mark Lev, Dr. Fred Morrow, Diane Nayhouse, Shirley Oberfield, David Rothenberg, Don Rosenblum, Sally Rosenblum, Jody Sandler, Issei Shimizu, Gary Stern, Addison Thompson, Lee Ugol, and Jim Willett.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Well, it now says in my outline that there's a special guest speaker, so I am assuming they're fun. Rabbi Ronnie Keller, who needs no introduction, who left me a beautiful office with a lot of stuff in the drawers of the desk. I don't know if you wanted me to save that for you. I did. I have it all.
Like pencils and pens.
All kinds of stuff.
Pens and pencils. It's much prettier now. It's a much prettier office. Hi. Put that on. Is that on? Hi. It is really nice to be with you on this wonderful Erev Shabbat. Obviously, a huge special thanks to all of you for allowing me to be here on this wonderful and auspicious evening. Of course, to Rabbi Kahn, to Rabbi Mason Barkin, to Cantor Ettinger, thank you so much. To Robin, so nice to be here with almost Rabbi, not Rabbi, almost Rabbi, and with Amy, and with Kate, and with all of you. This week's Torah portion is called Shmini. It is a great Torah portion. It talks about the 8th day of the ordination of the high priest and his sons. And the back part of the Torah portion has what I like to call my favorite part of the Torah portion, which is everyone's favorite game, kosher or unkosher. So I'm going to announce an animal, and you're going to tell me if you think it's kosher. Are you ready? I'm going to start easy. A goat. Kosher. Well done. There was a pause, but then you got kosher. Good, okay, excellent. How about a cow? Oh, that was with more emphasis. Yeah, kosher. Sheep? That got quieter, but kosher. How about a seagull? Here's what I heard. Not kosher. It's not kosher. How about a locust? Locust. Kosher and crunchy. That first bite you take with the chocolate covering and the bite on the head, it's just delicious. Those of you who are cringing, you're welcome. Lizards, not kosher. Camels, not kosher. Stork, nothing? Not kosher. Swordfish. Starts kosher, ends not kosher, so mostly then unkosher. Sorry, people. How about the giraffe? That's where I like to end with giraffe. First of all, how dare you? It's gorgeous. Second of all, kosher, but not edible, because the rabbis initially could not figure out where to cut at the jugular because it was too tall. So you cannot eat giraffe. That is actually all I came here to tell you. Shabbat shalom. I actually want to talk to you about the stork, believe it or not. Because when I think of the stork, I think of Stacy. And here is why. So if you think of the mythical cartoon character of the stork, you think of the storks carrying the little baby, right, and delivering them at the doors, right? And so when I moved from being the religious school director, and I vacated that office, and Stacy entered that office, it turned completely into a different kind of office. It turned into an office that, first of all, had a little lamp in it that changed the persona of the space. And it turned into this idea of a space of not just a teacher and a master educator, but of a mom who looked at every relationship that she made in a deep, connective sense, where she was your family. Whether it was to a small child, a high school student, a congregant, she was your family. She is your family. So when she entered that space with the lamp, it was fabulous. For a few years, I was leading the LA trip without Stacy, and I'd say that was fine. But when Stacy joined me on the LA trip, it got so much better for me. Because Stacy brought everything. You needed a Band-Aid, you needed a cookie, you needed a snack, you needed anything, Stacy had it, and in the smallest possible bag. It was like a magic bag. She like dug in like Mary Poppins, and there was like a vacuum cleaner in the bag. I don't know where it came from. So she made not just my life easier on the LA trips, but just made the LA trips better also for the students. And then she did that also in that motherly way for everyone here, where she didn't necessarily have the snacks for everyone, but whatever you needed, Stacy had it. She had it covered. And so I wanted to transfer from the stork to the word stork, actually, in Hebrew. And the Hebrew word for the word stork is chasidah. And if you know what chesed means, it means kindness. Because it's believed that the chasidah, the stork, makes it into Jewish text and gets it so far into Jewish text actually that Rashi, the greatest medieval commentator, comments on the stork, the chasidah, and says, this is a very special bird because it makes sure that its young are taken care of. It goes out of its way to make sure that its young is taken care of. And so the rabbis then ask, well, how come it's not a kosher bird? It's not, why isn't it on the kosher list? First of all, none of the birds mentioned anywhere in the Torah, by the way, are kosher. So it's in the Torah on the bird section, so it's not kosher. There you go. So there's a trick question for the next time I come and talk to you about kosher, not kosher. If I mention a bird, it's not kosher. Surprise. But what's interesting is they say that, and here's the flip where I think that Stacy differs, is that they say that the chasidah is not kosher because it only took care of its young. It didn't take care of other people's young. But I think this is where, and we know this, Stacy is a different kind of bird. And she made sure that everyone was fed, and that everyone was taken care of, and that everyone was looked after at all times. And so, in this unique chapter, I think for Congregation Beth Israel, for all of us who know and love Stacy, as this one chapter closes, I know that we all hope and know that the next chapter will allow you to spread the wings and to fly very high and to find other places to swoop over and take care of and share all of that kindness and wisdom. And the last thing I'll say is, if you add the word yud into chesed, you get the word chasidah, which means, like I said, it means stork. But a chasidah or someone who is full of chesed is also full of righteousness. And so not only am I honored to have worked with Stacy for so many years, not to just take care of the snacks, but to be among an incredible educator and someone who is righteous as Stacy Rosenthal.
Stacy, I believe it's your turn.
I have to say, this is a little bit like going to your own funeral. I mean, you know, let's call it what it is, right? That's why I surround myself with younger people, just in case. No. And actually, if you'll indulge me for just a moment, because, so I always say to the B'nai Mitzvah kids, and I know Ronnie Keller hates this because I'm using this on Shabbat, but it's okay, because he doesn't work here anymore, and neither do I. So, okay. Many of you have worked with me or learned with me over the years, and you know that I am rarely at a loss for words. And yet, as I sat down at my computer, I struggled not just with how to turn it on, but also with how to sum up a 20-year career and share words of wisdom that express the incredible privilege I've had to be part of so many of your lives, to share in your challenges and your simchas, to cry with you and laugh with you. Serving you has been an honor and a privilege which I will carry with me always. I started my career as a second grade teacher with Terry Golden right there in the middle in the public school system. And after 8 years, I left the field to be home with our kids, but missed being in the classroom. It wasn't even on my radar to become a Jewish educator until I was asked to teach kindergarten on Sundays. The day came when a young Rabbi Keller appeared and needed a partner in crime and in running the religious school. Rabbi Khan and the board of directors took a chance on me and literally changed the course of my professional life. I knew teaching, but what did I know about being a professional Jewish educator? I began my own journey, first Melton, then weekly study sessions with Rabbi Keller, still not over those, Hebrew at MCC, and eventually Hebrew Union College. The rest, they say, is history. Many of you recall a time when you were unsure of your next steps, a time when someone gave you a gentle nudge, a tap on the shoulder, or a kick in the pants and put you on the path to overcoming your doubts, highlighting your potential, and stepping into the unknown. From this week's Torah portion, Shmini, I learned the importance of the power of the ask. Aaron is instructed to come near the altar as Adonai has commanded. Come near implies that Aaron stood back or needed to be commanded to come closer to God. But why? Back to Rashi. Rashi offers the following explanation. Perhaps Aaron was fearful of approaching the altar. Moses said that to Aaron, "It is for this that you were chosen." Moses saw something in Aaron that he did not yet see in himself. Lord Rabbi Jonathan Sachs of blessed memory suggested that this is exactly why Aaron was chosen for this role and stated, "What you think of as your greatest weakness will become, in this role you are about to assume, your greatest strength." And so we began this parsha with the transfer of power from Moses to his brother Aaron. Both were exceptional leaders who had very different leadership styles. Moses spent much of his time serving as the liaison between God and man. instructing and delivering God's messages to the Israelites. He was steadfast in his approach to delivering Torah as absolute law. Aaron, on the other hand, was said to be part of the society. He was involved with the people and their problems. Aaron made the Torah accessible and shared its relevance to daily life. He was not a natural priest and certainly not perfect. The whole golden calf incident occurred on his watch while Moses was on Mount Sinai receiving the Torah, and yet he was still chosen to lead. Two great men, very different leadership styles. Using the lessons that I learned from this week's Torah portion, I asked, what makes a good leader? And how can we emulate these characteristics in a congregational setting? How do we choose teachers who are leaders in their own classrooms? And how do we model for our children what it means to be a lifelong Jewish learner? While not even close to a complete list, I thought I'd share a few things that I've learned along the way. 1, community and relationships are everything. We must never stop asking how we can best serve our community and provide what is needed. We must be in relationship with those we serve to stay true to our vision for the future. The culture we create is built through cumulative acts of kindness, meaningful interactions, and shared experiences. Martin Buber referred to these as I-thou relationships, which are characterized by mutuality, directness, presentness, intensity, and ineffability. These relationships require that we simultaneously be transparent, present, and accessible. This philosophy has framed every part of my career here at CBI and gives insight into what I believe is true. Number 2, every student has within them a divine spark. Look for it. When you begin to see a student as a being created in the image of God, it changes the way that you interact with them. My teachers will confirm my expectation that they greet every student at the door and know every student by name, know their families, know something about them that makes them unique and special. This is how you uncover the divine spark and build relationships. It has been said that I love doing drive-through at the religious school pickup this year. It is not what you might believe because of the walkie-talkies, although they are very cool. But helping kids into cars gave me an opportunity to check in with every family each week, something I desperately missed when the pandemic took away our ritual of standing at the entrance to the religious school each Sunday morning. Number 3, preschoolers may be the most perfect versions of the human species. Spending time in the Channon preschool will nurture your soul and show you all that is good and pure and holy. The kids will notice every little detail, will lovingly correct you when you get the words to the song wrong, and will give you knee hugs with all their might. To meet them eye to eye, you have to actually get down on their level and sit in the little chairs. But it is worth the awkward struggle of standing back up for these moments. Preschoolers will love you unconditionally. They will give you bonus points if you bring caterpillars from the tomato plants in your garden and a set of magnifying glasses. Number 4, the best way to get kids excited about Judaism is to be excited about Judaism. If you continue to learn and grow in your own Jewish knowledge, you will never run out of interesting things to share. Stephen Covey refers to this practice as sharpening the saw. Number 5, create meaningful experiences for yourself and the kids. At Camp Stein, we speak about the difference between a summer camp for Jewish kids and a Jewish summer camp. Intentionality and authentic learning goes a long way in engaging kids. Having an average of 70 kids attending 2.5 hours of Mayan each Thursday was proof that if you offer real Jewish learning and meaningful content, they will not only show up, but they will also stick around until you kick them out after 9 p.m. And some of you out there have been kicked out. Number 6, don't take yourself too seriously. Life is short. Laugh. Try new things. You truly have not lived until you have sat in the hallway I'm going to turn and face you because you guys know this. Until you have sat in the hallway of a Holiday Inn Express in Century City on an LA trip, waiting for the giggling to die down, knocking on doors to remind the room inhabitants of an early wake up, only to drop into bed exhausted and receive a text that someone might need to go to urgent care because they were bouncing on beds and had a gash. You cannot undervalue what it means to see kids. Let's just sit with that for a moment. You cannot undervalue what it means to see kids who barely knew each other when they got on the bus, sleeping in positions known only to teenagers and puppies, only to wake up singing camp songs on repeat for at least 100 miles. I am not bitter, no. There is a fatigue that comes with experiences like these that is not humanly possible but for those who share the magic of teen trips. Number 7, be authentic and present. Kids know when adults really care about them and when they are just dialing it in. On the first night of Mayan each year, I would ask every kid to take out their cell phone. I shared the importance of having 3 people that they could call at any time who would be there for them. I explained that I would be one of their 3, and I gave them my cell phone. You can imagine some of the looks like, really? Not once in all the years that I did this did a student ever crank call me or take advantage of this information. I've been delighted to receive texts from groups of CBI kids hanging out together, or to share a picture of a new puppy, or of another sending something Jewish that they saw that reminded them of something they had learned from me. Last month, I got a text from a group of seniors in high school, not citizens. I wanted to clarify that since I am retiring, and asking what I was doing on a Saturday night. I responded with, was this text meant for me? It was. I met up with 7 kids for ice cream, and we talked about their plans for next year. They shared stories that evoked fits of laughter, and when I drove away, I thought about how incredibly fortunate I am to have been a part of their Jewish journeys. And finally, number 8, love them with your whole heart. It wasn't until I finished writing this that I looked back and I realized that I shared 8 lessons from my career. This week's Parsha is Shmini, which means 8. The Torah is funny like that. It has a way of sneaking up on you when you least expect it. In this portion, the name Shmini refers to the 8th day. The sanctuary is finally complete. Moses has consecrated Aaron and his sons to serve as priest. Now is the time for them to come together and begin their service. A transition occurs. It is time for new leadership and fresh ideas. My professional time here at CBI is complete, and I look forward to cheering on those who continue the sacred task of engaging our learners. It is with tremendous gratitude that I offer my thanks to the thousands of students and their families who have passed through my door, who went on this journey with me and from whom I have learned so much. To the teachers and madrachim who shared this vision and partnered with me and nurtured the thousands of children. To the community partners, Gesher, the Reform Teen Coalition, the Association of Reformed Jewish Educators, Women's Leadership Institute. We are better together and strengthen each other. To those on the education and youth team, I am so proud of the work that we completed together. Amy Gavartin, Eric Rindelman, Jennifer Walker, Jason Bronowitz. It has been my pleasure watching you grow into the professionals that you are today. To some of the hardest working professionals you will ever know, Catherine Walls, Gail Gilmartin, Josh Goodman, Noah Goldenberg, Jackie Huber, Ari Moffat, Gustavo Canciones, Alfredo Mendez, Heather Glavinsky, Mo and Dave Carlson, Ben Salazar, the police and security officers who keep us safe. These are the people who are so deserving of our praise and thanks for making CBI run seamlessly behind the scenes. I know that you're thinking, she forgot Kathy, but I didn't. To my dear friend Kathy Brewer, who temporarily agreed to help me out in the religious school, and who is temporarily, she was gonna be here for like 3 weeks. 14 years later, Kathy and I left at the same time. She is the most Jewish Catholic I know, and the one who makes sure that every detail is attended to with grace and with dedication and with love. I have so many other things to say to you, but I will save those for our walks. Rabbi Keller, thank you for being my mentor and friend and for coming in to surprise me. Your presence means the world to me, and I would like to thank you by offering up our third board child as your youth professional. I have told her that she will work harder than she has ever imagined, and she will learn and grow tremendously under your leadership. To those who have shared this sacred work with me, past and present, and who have taught me so much, Cantor Spall, Terry Taubman, and my current colleagues, Robin Roeder, Rabbi Mason Barkin, and Cantor Ettinger, you are rock stars. You are amazing, gifted individuals, and I so value your friendship and collegiality. Thank you to those of you who came from other places to celebrate with me. Amy, Erev, Rabbi Burke, Kate, you are both an educator's dream, and I so appreciate you coming to share this evening with me. Thank you so much for your words. I can't wait to see what the future holds for all of you. To the board of directors, past and present, thank you for investing in me and supporting my efforts to build an educational program of which we can all be proud. To Rabbi Khan, thank you for the many surprises tonight. I look forward to a refresh and an opportunity to be your congregant and for you to be my rabbi. Thank you for taking a chance on me and giving me a chance to discover who I was meant to be. And finally, to my family, to my parents who are both here tonight, who have been my biggest supporters. Always, always my supporters, and whom were thrilled that I found a career to burn off that extra energy. To my in-laws, extended family, and those who are like family, you taught me the value of appreciating time together and of making memories that will sustain me for a lifetime. To my children, our children, I mean, Greg's part of that too, I guess, whatever. Okay, to our children, Alex, Benjamin, and Annie, who have shared me with this congregation for most of their lives and who have grown into adults I admire and love so very much. I am so proud of you every day. To Greg, never once have you ever complained about the weekends and evenings we sacrificed so I could pursue my passion. Love is like that. You were happy because I was happy. From holding down the fort while I wrote papers for HUC, to tolerating family vacations, which included Post-it notes all over the car as I built class lists, to my Jewish book Amazon addiction, to being woken up by early morning calls from teachers calling in sick, you took it all in stride, and now it's your turn. It's our turn, and I love you so much. May we have time and space for new adventures. To 120. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you all for your patience. The final 20-minute speech is now. I want to thank Randy for sticking within the 3 to 5 minute window. And of course, Amy did stick within that window because she respects her rabbi, as did Kate. Thank you both for being the only ones who listened. Rabbi Keller, I love you. I am so happy you're here. Rabbi Mason Barkin, I love you, and I am so happy you are here. Cantor, I'm so happy you are here. As my grandmother would say, of blessed memory, little Minnie Margulis, my cup runneth over. And I hope you feel that our cup runneth over tonight. Rabbi Keller used to talk a lot about liminal spaces. Every doorpost, every doorway has a mezuzah, not only because the Torah says, Al mezuzot beitecha v'sharecha, that you should place the words of v'havta on your doorposts of your house and on your gates, but because a doorway is a liminal space. It's neither here nor there. It's kind of there and kind of where you're going, but it's neither. It's an anomaly. And human beings like the organization of being in a place, feet, planted in the ground, firmly, we hope, anchored, we hope. And so liminal spaces, the neither here nor there spaces, are hard to navigate. A few weeks ago, I went home to San Francisco. This is my home, by the way. I went to the old country. And I stood at Congregation Beth Israel with hundreds of people to provide spiritual closure for my rabbi, my mentor, Marty Wiener. And there was this moment when about 5 or 6 of us went to go share condolences in this liminal space because Marty was there for 36 years. And then another 10 as emeritus rabbi. And there was this liminal space moment of panic, I'm sure. Will the congregation survive the loss of its beloved rabbi since 1971? So there were about 5 or 6 of us gathered, and we went to go give hugs to Marty's kids. And Liz Wiener, who I went to high school with, also was there. And there was this moment where I realized that I was standing with the board of Beth Israel Temple Youth circa 1984. Liz and I were vice president. Michael Shapiro, Arlene, where are you? Arlene's son, Michael Shapiro, was president. So he was there. Joanne, his wife, was there. And a bunch of kids I was confirmed with. And we're all standing there. There's a point, Stacy. And in that liminal space, this beaming smile came from Liz because she also realized in that moment that our city board and confirmation classes had merged and convened and stood to wish condolences to the family of our beloved rabbi. Tonight, walking in, I felt like I was walking into a liminal space. I think everyone knows that Rabbi Keller and I have a special relationship. That Randy Burke has a special relationship with Rabbi Keller. That Randy has a special relationship with Stacy. And then my colleagues who I love and have been with for 5 years, my cup runneth over. In the liminal spaces where we're neither here nor there, I hope we can all find comfort in realizing how anchored and blessed we are. Stacy, 3 quick things. Stacy was probably the best, most remarkable, awesome kindergarten Sunday school teacher I'd ever seen. Rabbi Keller was our intern, and I remember the meeting when we decided, that's it, let's get her in front of the executive committee and let's let her run the show, take it out for a spin. And our past president, Saul Moretsky, of blessed memory, said, and this was one of my favorite lines ever in my history of Beth Israel. Why would you take your best car salesman and put him in charge of the lot? And Stacy always says, thank you for taking a risk on me or giving me the opportunity. Really, it was about convincing Saul Moretsky of blessed memory that yes, you do take the best car salesman, the best kindergarten teacher, the best master teacher of Jewish learning and living, and put them in charge of the program. Why? Why not? There was no risk, calculated or otherwise. Stacy, you are a master teacher. Why? Because you have vision. You have the vision of what it is that you want to accomplish, and as much of a pain in the tuchus as you can be to me, and word to Rabbi Keller, your vision won the day more times than not because of the second thing, which is your passion. Passion is a missing entity in our world. Everyone is so worried about what they're going to say and how they're going to say it and who's going to cancel them for saying it the way that no one has a voice anymore. We're too afraid to speak. But passion wins the day. Stacy Rosenthal is a master teacher with a vision who has passion. And I don't mean passion in the abstract, and I don't mean passion as some trite word. She has in her kishkas, in her soul, in her heart, the desire and the need and the want and the know-how to be passionate and stubborn with her passion to the point of making us, as I said, nuts. But we do it to each other. And because we do it to each other, that friction that existed since the beginning of the creation of the world, that tension of earth and air and water tearing apart and putting back together, creates beautiful things. A moment on an LA trip, a walk up at camp, not the stuff that happens in the classroom. Stacy made and continues to make our kids, many of whom are here, some of whom are having kids of their own now, not just feel wanted and loved, but seen and heard. She knows their names. She knows their friends' names. It's more than just being in a text chat. You are part of them, which makes you exemplar, number 3. Leading by example, what we call dugma ishit, is no easy task. First, you have to know how to set the example. And you have to walk the walk. And it's not just about knowing the names of all the kids and knowing the names of their friends and treating them like they're your own kids. And it's that desire that those kids had to just be with you. Amy said it beautifully. It was just about sitting there. Create a job where I can just hang out with Stacy. Dugma ishit, being a person who is an exemplar, who walks the walk, is not just because of your vision and your passion, but it's about how it is that people feel when they are around you. How our kids felt and continue to feel, and now adults, how they feel around you. Our kids, more now more than ever, need people in their lives that ground them and anchor them, but also make them really feel seen and heard. I don't know anyone who does it the way you do, Stacy. I really don't. I mean, we're all pretty good at our jobs. But you, our Eshet Chayil tonight, our woman of valor, exceed them all when it comes to that idea of them feeling seen and heard. You probably have saved lives because of it. And most likely, for more kids than you will ever know, you have enabled them to understand what that I-thou relationship means through example, not just words, through act and deed. So the final thing, just so you feel, I hope that made you feel decently okay. Annie, the next generation. So for those of you who missed that reference, Annie Rosenthal is going to be, I want to get this right, the youth engagement professional at Congregation Beth Israel in Boca Raton, Florida. Her boss will be Rabbi Keller after she graduates college. And I'm not sure if everyone connected the dots in the way that Stacy expressed it, because I think she's a little kvali too. So as I said, Stacy's the one everyone wanted to be around. All the kids wanted to be around, and they just to hang out, just to be present. So I was thinking, a couple months ago, Isabel, the 17-year-old daughter that I have, said out of nowhere at 7:15 on the way to Pinnacle, you know, you guys really messed up. Annie should have been LTP director last summer, and Annie should be going to Israel and leading the big trip with us, and Annie this, and Annie that, and Annie Rosenthal. And I thought, aha, forget about the liminal space, Lador Vador. It doesn't mean, Alex and Benjamin, that our kids don't like hanging out with you. They do. You are the exemplars of not being in the place that you're supposed to be. But Annie, who we call Mini-Me sometimes, I'm sorry, Annie, just so you know, is the one that now my kid is saying, why isn't she leading the big trip? Why wasn't she LTP last summer? And I said, Isabel, I didn't even know. Oh, we all think this, right? My point is that this contagious spirit that is in this room tonight of love, of respect, of passion and commitment, of Jewish learning and Jewish education is Lador Vador. Annie, I am so excited for you. I do think you're not going to like working with Rabbi Keller. I'm sorry, working for. He is very difficult. No, oh my God. The liminal space, it's solved. Because from this Congregation Beth Israel family, when you get to there, even if you don't know where the there is, it's good. It's good. And it's genuine because of people like Stacy Rosenthal. Stacy, it's my pleasure and honor to ask you to receive some blessings from us in front of the ark. This is a liminal moment that will bring us even closer together, we pray. Not just you and me, but you and us. But please, if you learned anything tonight, know this generation that's sitting out here of 20-year-olds, every time you read a study and a report about how disenchanted they are, those reports are wrong. The report from tonight is because of you. They are here and ready, Lador Vador, as Annie will be, to take that next generation under their wing. Everyone, please stand. Can I have Greg and Benjamin and Annie and Alex up to the bema to join their mom so that we can ask for God's blessings? And thank you all so much for indulging me in sharing those thoughts. That went a little longer than I anticipated.
Oh, look at this beautiful group. I think you are too, Ronnie. Yeah. Just in case, it's supposed to be my turn to talk now. It's okay. It's really cold, so everyone huddle in. All right. So I'm going to be very brief because what else is there possibly to say as we have heard all of these beautiful stories of everybody who has shared their Stacy Rosenthal moments and memories. And I have a whole host of my own, of which I'm going to try to edit right now. But first of all, I just want to say that I had dinner last night with a bunch of our teens, a little program that we brainstormed together. And what they wanted to share was their Stacy moments. And I will share them with you later. However, what I want everyone here to see and understand is that for every child who has passed through the halls of this synagogue, they all have their Stacy Rosenthal moments, and the adults too. And so I'm going to share 3 really quick. One is that when I interviewed, you sat in the car with me and you said, I will tell you anything you want to know. And what I knew in that moment was that I wanted to work with you and that we were going to have a really great time. And what I didn't know at the time was that not only were we going to be colleagues, but that we would become such dear friends. And so one of my next Stacy Rosenthal moments is that when I was pregnant with my littlest, you were the first person at CBI that I told, because I knew that mom to mom of mom to three, you understood everything that I was going through in that moment. And you were a safe person that I could connect with then. And then the first time I brought little Milo here, it was pre-COVID, just barely. And you snuggled that little bundle in the conference room while we had some meeting about something very important. And I share this because I know that there are lots of kinds of babies, right? There are the babies that we raise because they are our humans, and that's what we do. And there's the babies that we put our time and our energy into over the course of our careers. And you have raised up this baby of the education programs here at CBI, religious school, and Mayan, and the preschool. And I know how hard and how scary it is to hand your baby over to somebody else. And I want you to know how much I've learned from you, that your baby's in okay hands, and that I'm going to strive to do all of the things you taught, which is to create those moments of love and connection with a Jewish adult that isn't necessarily a parent. And I'm going to hold this baby and I'm going to nurture it, and I will do it better because of everything I have learned from you. So that is my blessing that I get to carry, that I thank you for. We get to offer you the blessing of everything you choose to do next. When we spoke to the preschool just now, they wanted to bless you with hugs, lots of challah, and many trips to Disneyland. I also hope that you will have the blessing of spending more time with watching your children flourish as adults. He's talking, I know. I had to clarify. Lots of Sunday morning leisurely newspaper reading and coffee, and many more lives that I know you're going to continue growing, because that's what you do. Whether you're retired or whether you're working, it is simply who you are. So we offer you all of these moments and more. And the best is that I will text you all the time anyway. So we offer you these words.
Yevarech Adonai ve'yishmerech.
May God bless you and may God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav Elayich v'chunaych.
May God's countenance be lifted upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elayich v'yasem lach shalom. Shalom.
May you always feel God's presence within you, and may you always be blessed from this moment and all the moments going forward with lots of peace of heart and spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Jackie. Siman tov und mazel tov siman tov und mazel tov siman tov und mazel tov siman tov yehelanu. Siman tov und mazel tov siman tov und mazel tov siman tov und mazel tov siman tov yehelanu.
All right, friends, please be seated. It's a delight, pleasure, and honor to have Jackie Cohen, a past president of our congregation, and Robin Roeder, a past president of our congregation and our current CCEO, to as quickly as possible share announcements, share maybe abbreviated version of our speech from our president, and just in the interest of time, but if you want to do the whole, it's not that long.
I'll be really quick. It's short.
And I know you know how to talk fast, that's good.
Yeah.
And by the way, just don't do what Randy did, okay?
I did have something to say, but I will refrain. I am speaking on behalf of Julie Heimovich, the Board of Directors President, So Imagine Me with Long Dark Hair. These are her words. While I am unable to be with you in person tonight to honor you and your numerous contributions to our Kehilah Kedoshah, I am very much here in spirit. It has been a privilege to have your talents, strengths, and blessings at Congregation Beth Israel over the past many years. I am so grateful for the warm and caring religious school experience you provided for all 5 of my children. Each one looked forward to their bar bat mitzvah binder ceremony with Stacy, which made them feel special and excited for the journey ahead of becoming Jewish adults. Thank you for partnering with our family and helping us to raise strong, kind young adults with strong Jewish values. It truly takes a village. I am grateful that you were part of that village. You have not only played a massive part in my children's lives, but your commitment to youth at CBI has also been exceptional, from the support for education to our Camp Stein summer camp, LA trips, Israel trips, and youth group. The Habercorn Religious School and its down-to-earth teachers connect children to Jewish learning and living, and more recently, your role at Channon Preschool, where children joyfully learn. Not only have I had the privilege of being a parent of children that have benefited from your many talents, but I have also had the great joy of being the president of CBI since March of 2020 and have gotten to witness your contributions daily, for which I am grateful. Finally, it is an honor to call you a friend. This is not a goodbye, it is a see you soon. Your impact on all of our lives is profound. There are many memories which I will take from our time together at CBI. I am grateful for all of the relationships we have shared throughout the years. Mazel tov on your retirement, and may we go from strength to strength. Do you want me to do announcements?
Yes,
Do you want
but
to speak?
I want you to really. You know what? All of our
Everything
announcements.
is in the bulletin.
Thank you.
And on the website, and in the blast, and in the Monday.
I'm going to show you which ones to highlight
Pay
real
attention.
quick.
Okay.
Ready? Boom.
Save the date. Centennial Scholar in Residence. Maddie Friedman will join us Wednesday, March 30th, 7 p.m. That's this Wednesday. Save the date. Centennial Artist in Residence. Jason Meshis will be here Wednesday, April 1st and 2nd. Be there. Women's Seder. Sunday, April 10th, 4:30. Please register online. Be there. Save the date. Centennial Scholar in Residence. Sarah Hurwitz will be there Wednesday, April 13th. 7 p.m., be there.
Oh, that's what I'm sorry. Wednesday, April 13th for Sarah Hurwitz.
I said that.
Perfect. We're good.
You didn't follow?
We're good. We're good. No,
All
we're
right.
good.
And now
for
I
tonight.
have a few words. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Robin, why can't you be more like your mother?
That's right. Miss Stacy, please come back here.
You're all invited to my candle lighting.
You took my joke.
Oh, sorry. Okay, here, do it again.
Does this feel like your bat mitzvah? It's your bat mitzvah presents. Doug Leventhal wanted to know if you were going to get a Camp Stein gift certificate. So I said yes. So, Stacy, we have known each other probably 15, 20 years. I don't know. And we've had our private moments already and shared all our things and cried, and we'll cry again. But the last 2 years, for me, working with you every day, challenging ourselves during COVID, trying to make decisions, you have taught me what it means to be a Jewish professional, and I just love working with you. When you said to me, I think I'm ready to retire, my heart fell to the floor. But I know it's the right thing for you. And you know I did it about the same time in life. And there's always something more, and maybe even something better. I can't imagine. Mm-hmm. I thank you for everything you did for my family. You know what that is. And I just love you to death. So, thank you. So, it is my profound honor, on behalf of the board of directors, the clergy, the administrative staff, and this congregation, to offer you just a few gifts of appreciation for all that you have done over the past 20 years. This is a book called This is Stacy. This is not your book, though. This is actually my book. We have it for you, but it is not ready yet. And so this is how we roll, but it will. This is really good, but it will be ready for you very, very shortly. So that is just something that commemorates the last 20 years in pictures and in words, so we will have that for you. This gift is for you and Greg, if she chooses, to enjoy a little bit of time together. It is a gift that says, in appreciation of your 20 years at CBI, the lessons you have taught, the souls you have inspired, and the many lives you have touched, we are forever grateful. Relax and enjoy some special time with love and admiration, your CBI family. It is a weekend away at Castle Hot Springs, which is an incredible, incredible thing that none of us would do on our own. Well, maybe Jackie, but but none of us would ever do on our own. So here is a gift certificate for a weekend away. Enjoy your time, lavish in the hot springs and the gourmet meals and everything else that it has to offer. We love you. We miss you on a daily basis, but you are a friend. You are our congregant. And that's it.
I'm not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. Love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. We are going to conclude our service now with Aleinu and Kaddish. Thank you again to all of our speakers, especially those who came in from out of town. And just as an extra little bit, I know I cannot wait until May, whatever the date is, to be in Cincinnati with the Cohens, with Randy and Maddie and Bubby for our next ordination of a new rabbi from Congregation Beth Israel. Aleinu can be found in your Sidurim on 586. Together, please stand.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Sympathies as we note the passing of the following people who were recently laid to their eternal rest: Rabbi Martin Wiener, Candy Arthur, wife of Dr. Joel Arthur, father of Dr. Mandy Deitch, and Dr. Chad Arthur. And on this Shabbat, we share our love with those whose yahrzeits, the families of those whose yahrzeits occur this week: Joan Anderman, Leo Baer, Beatrice Beckman, Harold Black, Henry Black, Lillian Blinder, Linda Bortnick, Michael S. Corwin, Michelle Elizabeth Davis, Harris Epstein, Bertram Goodstone, Pauline Gordon, Harry Gralnick, Zeri Haskell, Patricia Hester, Myra Horn, Harry Hotz, Maddie S. Katz, Dr. H. Philip Kessler, John Lerner, Irwin R. Levin, Harold Marks, Tanya Moffett, Leslie Ann Portugal-Fold, Saul M. Saperstein, Charles Schlang, Bernard Seff, Dr. Donald Shapiro, Sam Scher, Andrea Smith, Evelyn Goldstern, Laura Stoller, Caroline Sonnenschein, Ralph G. Wilson, Albert Ziff. If anyone would like to say out loud the name of a loved one or repeat a name that I had inadvertently mispronounced, or online, if you'd like to type in the comment section below the name of a loved one, please do so at this time. Zichronim Livracha. May their memories be a blessing. Along with them, we always think of the 6 million who perished in the Shoah, including the 1.5 million children who have no one to say Kaddish for them. The soldiers and civilians of the state of Israel have given their lives for our Jewish homeland. May all of their souls be bound up in the bonds of eternal life. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on 598. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam le'olam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekutsha brichu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata dami ran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav huyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are grieving. Amen.
Amen. We're going to conclude tonight with a special Oseh Shalom that is dedicated to the one and only Stacy Rosenthal. I'm going to invite Stacy to come up because she heard a lot of wonderful words tonight, and all of them had this common theme. Jackie, if you please. Thank you for being our friend. We traveled down this road and back again. Your heart is true, you're our pal and our confidant. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Thank you for being our friend. Let's join together in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom.